I'm going to teach you how to run a con. A very legal, very polite, Cork-approved con. It's called the Free Walking Tour, and if you're over 60 and still paying $40 a person for a guided city tour, I need you to sit down because I've been getting away with this for years and I'm only now telling you about it. Here's how it works. You show up. Somewhere in a city square, there's a guide in a bright shirt holding a sign. You join the group. For the next 2, sometimes 3 hours, this person walks you through the old town, tells you which king murdered which brother, points out the church that burned down twice and got rebuilt out of spite, and generally gives you the kind of history lesson you'd pay a fortune for on a bus with a headset. And at the end, you pay whatever you want. That's the part that trips people up. My son Declan heard free and immediately assumed it meant bad. He pictured somebody mumbling through a script for tips, half paying attention, rushing you past everything so they can get to the next group. And look, that tour exists. I've been on it. But the good ones? The good ones are run by people who are betting on themselves. They know if they're excellent, they get paid well. If they're mediocre, they get paid nothing. There is no hiding behind a fixed $40 fee. Every single guide on a tip-based tour has skin in the game, and you can feel it in the way they talk. I found this out completely by accident. I was in a city, I won't say which one, standing outside a cathedral trying to decide if the audio guide inside was worth €12 when a woman with a clipboard told me there was a free tour starting in 10 minutes. I thought, what's the catch? Mayer, when I told her about this later, said the exact same thing. What's the catch, Connie? She's convinced everything free is secretly a timeshare presentation. There's no catch. The catch is just that you tip at the end, and you tip like you mean it. So let's talk money, because that's really why you're here. I tip between $10 and $20 a person, depending on the length and how good the guide was. If it ran long, if they answered every question, if they made me actually care about a war that ended 400 years ago, they're getting the 20. If it was fine but forgettable, they get the 10. And that's still a fair wage for 2 hours of their time. What I don't do is stand there awkwardly trying to decide in the moment. I decide before the tour even starts, based on length and reputation, and I keep that amount in a separate pocket, so I'm not fumbling through my bag at the end like I'm buying a car. Here's my actual math. A paid walking tour in most cities runs $25 to $45 a person. A tip-based tour, done generously, runs me $15 to $20. Same 2 hours, same information, sometimes a better guide because remember, they're auditioning for that tip the entire time. I'm not saving money by being cheap here. I'm saving money by using a system that happens to reward good work more directly than the alternative. How do you find a good one? Look for tours with actual reviews, not just a company name and a meeting point. Look for guides who've been doing it more than a season. You can usually tell from how they talk about the city, whether it's memorized or lived, and show up 10 minutes early. The good guides are sizing up the group before it even starts, and I like giving them the chance to see I'm someone who's actually listening. One more thing, and this is the bit that made me an evangelist for these tours. At the end of one in particular, I asked the guide, a young man, maybe 30, why he did tip-based instead of just getting hired by one of the big tour companies. He said the fixed salary guides get complacent. He said he'd rather be paid what he's worth every single day than paid the same whether he's brilliant or half asleep. I think about that a lot, actually, not just for walking tours. So that's the con. The con is that it looks risky, and it's actually one of the more honest transactions you'll make on a trip. You get exactly what you pay for, except you get to decide the price after you've already gotten the goods. Try running that at the grocery store. Mia still doesn't believe me. She thinks I'm one bad tour away from getting swindled in a foreign square. Maybe, but until that happens, I'll keep showing up in whatever city I'm in, joining the group with the bright-shirted guide, and walking off 2 hours later, having paid exactly what the experience was worth to me. That's not being cheap. That's just refusing to overpay for things that don't deserve it and refusing to underpay for the ones that do. I'm Connie. Go join a walking tour, tip well if they earn it, and let us know what your experience was, please.